So what does a WordPress theme really do? Well, a WordPress theme controls parts of the website that the page builder normally does not, such as the header, the footer of your websites, some blog pages, and some archive pages. However, with today's page builders, WordPress themes are becoming less important because page builders are doing most of the work. But we're going to install a free WordPress theme that offers tons of demos and allows you to customize all parts of your websites. So under search themes, let's go ahead and type in Solace. This is a brand new theme that hit the market. You are going to love it. It has the best demos available on the internet. So here is the Solace theme. You'll go ahead and click on Install Now, and then you'll click on Activate. Once you install the plugin, the theme requires you to install an extra plugin called Solace Extra. So go ahead and click on Begin Installing Plugin, and then click on Install. Next, I'll click on Return to Dashboard. All right, and this is the Solace dashboard. So this is where we can import templates. We can customize our website using the Solace theme. And now let's import a starter template. So right here, I'll click on Start Now. And next we'll be prompted with this page here, but let's go ahead now and click on Start Now. So here is a list of available templates for Solace. There is more than 87 templates available. If you click on Load More, you'll see that there is a list of templates for virtually any type of business niche. On the left side, you'll see categories, and you can go ahead and click on one of these boxes. So for example, if this is a business, and then you'll see available templates for the business category. Now the template that we're gonna use for this video is called Edinburgh right here. Just in case you can't find it, you can type it in. So Edinburgh, and you'll see it right here. So you'll go ahead and click on this template kit. And what's really cool is here's a preview of what your website will look like. So you can actually scroll down here and take a look. You'll see you can take a look at the entire website using this browser. You can also change the color palettes. So right here, if I click on color palettes, you can actually change the scheme of the websites. And for the font style, you can actually change the font right here to several pre-made fonts that we've created. I do like this one right here. I'll select the red one. Now, one thing also is you can actually check on other parts of the website by clicking on the tabs up here. And this will show you what all the pages look like very easily without having to import the templates. So we're going to go ahead and import this template kit here. Now, the one box you must check is this box right here. We're going to check this box. This makes sure that we install the Elementor page builder, which is required to use this template kit. So after you select this box here, you'll then click on Continue. The next option is you can choose to sign up for our newsletter or not. If you don't want to, no problem. You can always click on Skip this step. And now Solace is going to import the demo website. Make sure you leave this tab open right here and wait about maybe 1 minute, and the entire website will import on your new WordPress website. And just like that, it'll let you know the import is complete, and then we'll click on Check Websites. And look at that. We now have a beautiful, fully completed WordPress website. Here you can go ahead and scroll down and take a look at the website, and you'll notice that this website, the designs are great, the images are really beautiful, and the team did a really good job at designing this template kit. So you'll see everything here is imported successfully on your websites. Let's go ahead now and scroll up to the top. And you can go through the other pages. So here on the top left, this is your menu navigation bar. Here is the About Us page. And if we scroll down, you'll see everything imported successfully, including the text, the images, and then we just threw in some demo content, which you can update a little later. So this is how you can import template kits using the Solace theme. It's a great theme, really nice demos, but let's go ahead and jump back to the home page. So here, I'll click on Home. All right, so now that we've imported this beautiful template, now let me walk you through how to design it using the drag and drop page builder called Elementor. Now this is a free drag and drop page builder, and this plugin was auto-installed when we imported the template on our website. So in this part of the video, I'll walk you through how to use the page builder to build your WordPress websites. Y'all ready? Let's go. So now let's talk about how to design the websites. Now let me give you all a 10 to 15 minute crash course on how to use the Elementor page builder. Now Elementor is a free page builder and was auto-installed when we imported the demo. So to use the page builder, there's two different ways. You can click on Edit with Elementor up here, and this will turn on the page builder. You can also go ahead and go over here to Dashboard. And here is a list of all of our pages that are imported on our website. And you can click on Edit with Elementor and turn on the page builder for any of these pages. But let's go ahead and go back to Visit Sites. And let's turn on the page builder on the front end. So to do that, just click on Edit with Elementor, and this will turn on the page builder. So this is the Elementor Page Builder UI, and this is where we can design the websites. Now on the left side, you'll see that we have some elements. The first is the layout. These are essentially containers where you can add in elements inside containers. And then we have our basic elements such as text editor, button, and so on and so forth. Below that, we have our Pro elements. These are only available in Elementor Pro, so I'll go ahead and collapse that. And then we have the general elements here at the bottom. Now, in order to use an element, all you got to do is drag and drop it onto the page. So for example, I'll take a text editor and I'll drag it onto the page. And there's that pink line right there. I'll go ahead and drop the text editor. Now for every element, you're gonna have 3 different tabs. You have the content tab. This controls the actual contents of the actual elements. And then you have the style tab. This controls things like the color and also the typography of the elements. So for example, if you wanna change this to like red, you'll see, change this to red. And then the advanced tab, this controls things like margin and padding, where you can add in space for your elements. You can also add in really cool things like motion effects. So right here, I'll click on motion effects. And then for the entrance animation, you'll see that we have a bunch of different animations. So we have zoom in down, right? We have bounce in down, right? And there's a lot more you can go ahead and choose from. But don't get too crazy with elements. It's a quick way on how to make your website look really tacky, right? So here I'll go ahead and click on the plus element tab, and this gives you access to the elements. Now for every element, you can also right click on it. So for example, I'll right click on this and I'll click on duplicates. And I can take this and I can just drag it below this one right here. Now you can also go ahead and delete elements. So I'll also right click on this, and at the bottom, I'll click on delete. I'll right click on this one, and I'll also click on delete. And for example, if you want to change the text for a specific section, for example, here, I'll click on the text. All you got to do is just change this. So I'll put something here like, welcome to your new WordPress websites. And then you'll see the text changes right there. Now up here, you'll see that there's this pink line. So this is a way on how to add in more sections. So for example, let's say I want to add in a new section above this. I'll click on the plus arrow right here, and then I'll click on the plus. And then we have the option for Flexbox and Grid. Flexbox is most commonly used. Grid is more for images. So I'll go ahead and click on Flexbox. And now we have these boxes right here. Now, I bet you might be confused on the down and the right arrow. I'll explain that in just a little bit, but let's just go ahead and click on 2 rows right here. I'll click on the add elements, and now we can drag in these elements. So I'll take a heading text, I'll drop it here. I'll click on the add elements. I'll throw in a text editor. And then maybe here I'll throw in an image, maybe in the middle, right? So I'll go ahead and put it right here in the middle. And then I can choose an image. So I'll click on choose image. Now, when you import the Solus theme, we actually give you a bunch of demo images you can use on your websites. So for example, we'll go ahead and select this one here and click on select. And then you'll see the image appears here. You can also control the image, so you can make it a little bit smaller if you want. And there's several different ways on how to, size the image. And let's say, for instance, you want to throw in a button. Here, I'll click on the plus, take a button, and I'll just put it right there. Now, if you do want to link the button to another page, here under link, all you got to do is type in the name of the page. So for example, if you want to link this to like the contact us page, here I'll click on contact. And what's really cool about Elementor is they'll actually pull up the link and enter it right there. So I'll change this to like contact us. And now this button links to the contact us page. Now I want to talk more about some of the other options here. So for example, I showed you all how you can right click on this and duplicate it. You can also do this with rows and also entire sections. So for example, here I'll click on the container, I'll right click, and I'll click on duplicate. I'll right click and I'll click on duplicate again. Now, if you want to get rid of this container, I'll right click on this container and I will delete this container. So you can see here how you can make like a My Team section or About Us section really easily with Elementor. Now, you can also do this with the entire section as well. So under the Edit Container, I'll right click on this and I can also duplicate this entire section. So below that, you'll now see that we have a new section here that we can fully customize and edit. Now, if you do want to add a background here under the container, you can actually add a background to one specific row or the entire section. So for example, I'll click on Edit Container and you'll see these options here on the left side. Now these options are only referring to this one container. So for example, here under Style, we have background type. We have Classic, Gradients, and a few other options. So I'll select Classic, and then I'll just pick like a subtle gray color. And then you'll see here how the background color changes. Now, if you want to change the entire section, you'll see this pink one up here. I'll click on the 6 dots and then I'll go to Style. And this is where we can actually change the background for the entire section. So for example, here we have the classic color. If you want to change it to like another color, you'll see that this changes for the entire section, except for this one because we've already added a background. Now here we have hover. Now hover is just basically saying you can change the actions if someone hovers over something. This is common for buttons. So for example, if I click on the Contact Us, go to the Style, and then click on Hover, you can actually change the color when people hover over it. So for example, I'll change the color to something like black, right? So now if I hover over this, you will now see that it changes to black. So you do have the option for normal and hover for all the elements. So next let's talk about the advanced section. So let's say for instance, you want to add some space up here. You see how it's pretty close? Here I'll click on the 6 dots, then I'll click on the advanced section. And now we're going to add some padding. Now think of padding as just space, right? So I'm gonna unlink these values right here. And let's say I only want space at the top. Here I'll go ahead and just throw in some space here, right? What is that? Was that good? Maybe 90 pixels, right? And let's say you want some space here at the bottom, because as you can see, it's just a little too close to the bottom. So we're also gonna add some padding here to the bottom. You can also go ahead and just manually type this in, like 90 as well. And you could do the same thing for the left and the right side. So I'll add maybe 20 pixels and 20 pixels. And if you wanna see what your website looks like without the builder, here I'll click on this arrow. And now you'll see that this is what it'll look like when users visit your websites. So let's go ahead and reopen the editor. So as you can tell, Elementor is pretty straightforward. It's not complex whatsoever, but let's go ahead now and delete this section. So I'll click on the delete container, and then also I'll do the same thing here. I'll also delete this container. So now let's talk about something that is a little bit more challenging. Let's talk about the Elementor Flexbox. Now at first this might be intimidating, but trust me, the Flexbox will be your best friend later. So for example, here I'll click on the 6 dots, and now we have this direction, and you'll see that we have horizontal, vertical, reversed, and column reversed. So for example, if I want these elements to stack on top of each other, you'll now see that all the elements stack on top of each other. If I want these reversed, this actually changed it to reversed, and also we have column reversed as well. So using